Hey, Lordy, look at the time.
Empowered.
Okay, so welcome back to another episode of the M-PWRD podcast. Today, I am joined by Ollie and Aimee, and I'm going to let you guys explain to everybody what it is that you do. I know there's a couple of things, so we'll work through them systematically, and we'll get into it. So over to you guys.
So I think the main thing is that we run a TikTok marketing agency. Ran the agency for the last 3 years, but in between that, we've done coaching. Well, we're currently doing coaching, and we've run a TikTok sweet shop. There's a few different things that we kind of do.
Obviously, TikTok's fairly new as far as social media platforms go. What was it about TikTok that kind of drove you guys to specialising in that?
So we ran the marketing agency for about 3 years, and that was Facebook ads.
Right.
And fell into that, started getting good results, and just as like time, things change, and you just got to kind of adapt to what's happening in the market. It probably happens in every industry, but with TikTok, we're just seeing people get like insane results. Like, as you know, it's the best platform to go viral, and that's organic without any paid ads. So it's a good opportunity. And it was last year when I seen a sweet shop that was going like viral, selling loads of sweets, and it was like the Prime and all the pickles. I don't know if you remember them trends, like last year. So I seen that, and with our marketing experience, I knew that we could do it. I could just copy the concept and do it 10 times better. So I was like, said to Aimee, right, I'm going to start a sweet shop. She was like, what?
Right.
No, we were in the car, we were like driving somewhere once, and he was like, right, I'm going to make a box, I'm going to put like Prime sweets in it, I'm going to sell it for 30 quid, I'm just going to make a website. I was like, what are you on about? Like, we've already got a full agency full of clients that we had to serve. But he was like, no, I'm going to do it. And I was like, I don't know about that idea. And then
I've got like ADHD, like I just want to, I think of something and I'm like, right, let's do it.
You got to do it straight away. Yeah.
But like at the time we were swamped with clients. Like we didn't really have much time. There wasn't any staff at that point. So it was just us. And so anyways, I made this box, and then we sold them on the Facebook groups, you know, like the housing estate. And we made like $3,000. And then I was like, right, I'm going to take this online. So we put it on TikTok, and we launched the website. I think I launched the website in like 7 days, and it was the world's worst website. It still had like recommended products on the bottom. It was like a stock image.
Right.
It was like, add your product image here.
Right,
it was that bad. But I launched that. Aimee was handling the TikTok content. Started getting millions of views. In the first month, we made £50,000.
Really?
The first month. I had Shopify on the phone that blocked all the money. So I had to buy like 10 grand's worth of stock. I couldn't access any money. I ran out of money because I obviously selling that much stock.
Yeah.
Obviously costs quite a bit as well to keep it running. So I had no money to keep it going. And
it was the pickles as well. They was costing so much because we had to get them imported from America, and the Prime as well. We had to import it from America, and it cost so much. So we like put everything into it.
The shipment of pickles was like a pallet so big. And when I rang my dad, I went, look, I've got run out of money. I need some cash to buy pickles. Imagine how that conversation went.
When you set up the marketing agency, did you ever foresee the moment where you would think, oh God, how am I going to afford these pickles? when you first set it up, was that ever something that came, that one day that you might not be able to afford the pickles?
Honestly, like I have a few conversations, a few phone calls saying like, I need to get some cash together just for now to get some pickles.
How much did we spend on the pickles? I think it was 23 grand. It was 23 grand on pickles.
23 grand worth of pickles.
I think at the time I needed I was like trying to just go all in or nothing. So I was like, right, I need 60 grand for pickles. And I managed to spend like about 20, which was a good amount.
Out of interest, do you like pickles?
I do. So yeah,
you do.
This is where the content was going viral, wasn't it? I was videoing myself eating a pickle every single day.
And you like them?
I like them.
Yeah, do you like them?
I mean, I wouldn't eat it every day.
I don't think I've ever had one.
Did you not try it during the trend?
No.
Oh.
We've got some left. I should have brought some.
Yeah, I'll try a pickle. I mean, at some point.
Now the trend's dead. I'm sitting on like 1,000 pickles in the office.
How long do they last?
They've got like a really long day on them.
Right, okay, because they're pickled.
So,
right,
yeah,
yes,
so-
of
People
course.
still buy them today though. People do still buy them, not as much as they used to, but
So I guess this was like kind of the tinderbox that started, okay, this is a powerful platform.
Yeah.
So I assume then that the sweet shop became your kind of proof of concept to go out into the market and say, look,
Exactly.
if we can sell 20 grand's worth of pickles and we, we're not as passionate about pickles as you guys are about your business, then utilizing this platform can be a way that you guys can get in front of other people. It's interesting, isn't it, that like most businesses have to start with a proof of concept and they're usually not what you expect.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just interesting that you've kind of arrived at, okay, the sweet shop. So do you still have the sweet shop?
Still got the sweet shop.
Yeah.
Still running today. Yeah.
Right. And you kind of use that as your almost proof of your.
we did at the
Yeah.
start.
In the beginning.
In the beginning, we started like literally copy and pasting the exact same strategy we did with the sweet shop and implementing it for other businesses. So like the first business that we tried it with was like a desserts company, and we grew them from 0 to 20k followers in was it 2 weeks? Yeah. So that was like the first one. We were like, right, okay, this is not a fluke. And then we worked with another business and we were helping them sell like candles and like diffusers, stuff like that. So again, it was different.
And then she made her first 1K day on Shopify.
Right.
From TikTok.
Yeah. And then we started working with service-based businesses as well. So that was like products first. Then we started working with service-based businesses. And we literally just used the same strategy and it worked again. So we were like, right, okay, this is something that we need to like tap into.
So we started to test the method with service-based, and then like that was the original proof of concept. But now, like the last 5 clients that we've signed up have hit 1 million views in 60 days.
Right.
It's just like copy and paste it with all throughout the industries.
And how, I see a lot of people get a lot of traction on TikTok, but it's not necessarily kind of useful traction. They're not necessarily a business. They're kind of, people doing trends and doing things like that. So how is it that you guys are relating, views and traction on the app to actually affecting the business? Or is it just kind of the more people who know about it, out of some of them, they're going to be people who are be interested in the product? Or is it all kind of reverse engineered from, look, this is what you want to sell, this is what you want to get across? Because obviously with the sweet shop and with the pickles, it's fairly straightforward.
It's mass market.
Yeah.
Everyone can buy sweets, yeah.
Yeah.
But with the service-based business, so, most people are on Instagram advertising, and they'll probably have a couple of thousand followers. So 1 million views on your service or coaching offer or product is better than a couple of thousand on Instagram. Yeah. There's always going to be, there's going to be a lot of people that aren't suitable to buy, but there's going to be a big percentage that still are.
Right.
Even like a couple of % of 1 million is quite a high number.
Right. So it's just about more exposure.
Yeah.
And then out of that, some people are going to be in the market for X, Y, and Z. If they're selling fitness products or something like that, then there's going to be some people that lands on at the right time. So it's just a case of, because I often wonder that with TikTok, because it's not as, there's not as straight, and I mean, this will probably change, and I'm not too well versed on the TikTok shop because I haven't really used it before. Whereas with Instagram, there's like, they've obviously developed it more for businesses so that there is like a pathway of, okay, you've seen this product where you can actually like send us a DM or go to our website or go. Yeah. Whereas I've found with TikTok, it's a little bit more difficult to drive traffic.
Yeah.
Have you found that?
We find for service-based businesses, so we find TikTok is like just an audience builder.
Right.
And then people, when they want to buy into you, they'll move on Instagram. So they'll send you a message on Instagram.
Yeah.
And if you look at like, if with fitness, so you look at like all the big people like Thurston, Rob Lipset, it's all attention.
Yes.
It's just about grabbing getting as much attention as you possibly can. And they're obviously raking it in off the back end of it.
Yeah.
But to give you an example, one of our clients who sells a aesthetics training course. So her target audience is obviously young lasses who want to better their career. They might have just came out uni, college, and they just want to start earning good money. So we post TikToks for her. In one video, it hit 200K. It was like 250K. And she got 250 inquiries in one day.
Wow.
To buy the training course, which is like 3-5 grand.
Yeah.
And like that's her target audience. So it does work in that sense.
That was direct to TikTok as well. That wasn't directing anybody to Instagram. That was just with like a type form in the bio, and then the inquiries like filled out their details, and that was coming through her to her email. So
what you got to remember now is audience on TikTok is like it is slightly older. It's not just people dancing.
Yeah.
So I'm 30 this year, and I go on TikTok every day. I know my mates go on TikTok, and like 25-year-olds plus are all on TikTok.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all of the social media platforms, the demographics are getting older. I mean, we're now getting to the stage where like most people on Facebook are like retiring. Do you know what I mean? Like Facebook's definitely became a much older audience than when it started. I mean, it was literally started for people between the ages of 18 and 22 who are at university. So it was a platform designed for university students, which has just transcended. I definitely see with TikTok the trend is people are becoming older. And it's interesting that you're saying that she's actually been able to... So was there a call to action to go to the link in her bio in the video?
yes, I think what we didn't really mention before, like a lot of the content that we post is sales focused. So like every bit of content that we're putting out is attracting people to what they sell essentially. So like we were talking about like here's how you can make like 10k a month and stuff like that, because aesthetics practitioners can make that within like the first like year or two. They can make that kind of money. So we'll like put stuff like that out there, and that kind of relates to their audience as well, because young people are obviously, if they're money driven and they want to like invest in a course, find out how much money you can make, like that's going to be like a seller straight away.
Absolutely. So it's more of a case of then, you know, you're trying to make viral content within their vertical, which makes sense to their audience. Because obviously I've seen a lot of people who they're gaining a lot of attention, but the attention but they're not actually directing it into something that's, you know, beneficial to them. But you think if they're kind of, it has to be in their kind of niche of, right, well, you know, this is how much you can make doing this, or this is how I was able to do that. You find that to be the best content.
If you could go viral telling someone, if you sell a coaching product and you can go viral by telling someone how much money they can make by buying into your program, like you're going to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Some people struggle to get views, so it's fine to kind of just post that type of content you're talking about just to gain some initial traction. So you might be struggling to get your first 1,000 followers. So it's fine to like just post stuff that's going to get you views, going to get you followers, like to get to a certain
some
point.
trends that are just going to...
That's what I'm currently doing on my account, because we've been so focused on clients' accounts, growing them. I'm growing my personal one, and I'm just posting like random stuff really. Nothing to do with what I'm actually selling.
Right.
But then it'll change. The content will change
once you start to gain a little bit more of an audience. So that, you know, if you've got 10,000 followers, if 10% of them are interested in what it is that you're doing, then you've got 1,000 people that you're going at, rather than if you've got 1,000 followers and 10% of them are interested, it's only 100 people, and, you know, not everybody sees your post and things like that. So yeah, would you say then somebody starting out in their business should try and go relatively broad at first to just try and, you know, get to the 1,000 followers so they can go live, get to the, do you know, those sort of like...
Yeah, I think it's a funny one, because it depends on the industry. So the girls who are doing aesthetics for our clients, like they sell themselves, they look pretty, they're selling a good product, they're selling like they're giving away the dream. Like girls are buying into it straight away.
Yeah.
For fitness, like you can give away value with like exercises, things like that.
Yeah.
With marketing, so marketing guys have the hardest. So everyone just
Nobody
thinks
wants to follow marketers.
Everyone just thinks I'm trying to sell them shit and trying to like get on TikTok, con man every day. Like
scammer.
It's hard for a marketing person.
It is easier, isn't it? Like certain industries. I know obviously like a lot of our business is based in the fitness industry, and, you know, we're moving into doing some stuff with beauty and things like that. And, you know, they can just be putting a video on of like doing somebody's nails, and they're getting like so many views because people want to just watch things like that. You know, you're saying about the aesthetics people there, you know, if they're well presented, look good on camera, what somebody might have to do with a hook in terms of gaining someone's attention, they can just do it with their face.
Yeah,
which is,
that's
you know,
the
a lot
thing.
easier than having
Yeah,
to think of a
100%.
catchy hook all the time. If you just look hot,
Yeah.
then people are just going to stop automatically. And then if you look hot and they stop and they're like, oh, this person's actually of interest. Oh my God, this person's making 10 grand a month. Oh my God, they're doing it in something that I would love to do. Okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
Whereas it's like, you know, I know how difficult it can be to sell professional services, because it's like,
Yeah.
you know, and marketing's probably, out of the professional services, I know you're saying it's difficult, it's probably one of the sexiest. Imagine if you're an accountant.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's got to be one of the, like, marketing, because everybody can, like, apply that. And also, if you're going viral and you sell marketing, then automatically someone's going to be like, hold on.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you know what you're on about here.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
but yeah, so no, it's interesting that you guys have, it's interesting that you guys have been willing to pivot, because I think that's, you know, you're probably not thinking about it because, like you said, you're in there, you're in the trenches, you go a million miles an hour with your mind and things like that. But it's a really brave thing to do, especially if something's working. To look at what's working and then go, this could work better, and pivot on. You know, you guys said you were full with your agency and stuff like that. It is a risk to move into a different direction.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really brave thing to do.
We fully put the agency on pause, didn't we, for like 6 months? Like, we actually like said like we have to either choose the sweet shop or the agency at this point, because like we don't have enough brains to be able to do both. Like, there was only 2 of us at the start,
Yeah.
and then we actually like paused the agency for about 6 months.
You gotta imagine, like, first month, didn't expect to get, like, I expected to get sales, but not £50,000 worth of sales.
Yeah.
I had no experience in logistics, didn't know how to pack an order. The office was upside down. You couldn't step anywhere. It was just boxes everywhere. I was running out of tape every day, running out of labels every day, running out of stock every day. The wholesalers every single day, bags, you name it. Everything I needed was just all over the place. It was a big disaster.
It was a mess, really.
It was a nightmare. And then
We thought
that's why we couldn't run another business. We have a meeting and say, like, we're gonna have to just pause what we're doing right now to focus on this, because it's making really good money.
Yeah. And then you've used what you've learned from that and been able to say, okay, we can do this with other people.
Yeah, so now for both businesses, we don't do anything.
Right.
So both businesses are run. We don't really get involved in the day-to-day. So that's why we've now launched the coaching, so TikTok coaching.
Okay.
So we launched that like last month. We've done almost 10K in the first week of launching it.
Right.
So now we're offering that as a product, so helping people on TikTok, how to go viral. It's basically implement what we teach people, what we do for people in the marketing agency, help them do it themselves.
So that's actually helping businesses to improve upon their own TikTok.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Amazing. So then it's like that kind of pivot into the education side of things.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And how long has that been running for?
Just a couple, maybe a month or so.
Right,
A month,
okay.
1 month, I would say, yeah.
And you've had good uptake on people wanting to learn.
Yeah, so kind of use the method of like sales calls coming in for the other business to just see what's best suited for them.
Okay.
I think it depends on the business owner. Like, a lot of our aesthetics practitioner clients, like, they're like very in the business still. They're very much like with their clients every day, so they need it sort of done for them, so we
Yeah.
come and do it
Yeah.
for them. Whereas like we have like other clients who are maybe like they've got staff and they just like maybe work from home and like manage the business that way.
Yeah.
They want to be involved a little bit still.
Yeah, yeah.
So like we coach them, teach them exactly how to do it, and then they like also deliver that to their team, and then they can then pass that on to like their clients and stuff as well. So
Yeah, it's just a
Depends.
question of, do you have time or do you have no time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's like a really good transition. So like whenever we're really in a very similar position. You've got, there's generally, as far as a service business goes, you've got 3 options, haven't you? It's either done for you, which is the most expensive. You tell us what you want, we'll actually go and do it for you. Done with you, which is we'll guide you, but you'll also put manpower into it. Or done yourself, we'll give you the information and totally step back. And I think that, most businesses that do well, they start off with a core offering of usually they start off at one end of the spectrum. So it's either done yourself or done for you. And then they move into the middle where it's like that kind of consultancy basis as well. And I think we're in a very similar situation where we're trying to, because we're an education company, we are, doing it with them the majority of the time, but we're trying to kind of offer them a a kind of done by themselves service. So, you know, everybody kind of moves down the product offerings. And I think it's just really interesting because you can take your business that's working really well and you can say, okay, look, we make X amount, but we spend X amount of time on it. Is there a way that we can package this where we spend a quarter of the time on it, but make half as much money so that we're technically in a profit by doing it like that? And then once you've built that up to the point, you can go, okay, is there a way that we can take all of this knowledge that we have and don't give them any support and just give them a course? And it's like, it's finding that product ecosystem, which it feels like that's where you guys are at the moment, like building those product ecosystems where you're like, okay, this one you pay us a lot of money and we do it all for you. No risk, but you know, it's a lot of money. This one you pay us a bit of money, we're going to help you, we're going to come in, we're going to tell you what to do, but then you're on your own. Or this one where it's like, okay, you pay for it, see you. And it's like, it's then you've got something for every client. And like you said there, discovery calls, you can like, it's quite a nice thing to do as well, be able to offer them different products.
Yeah, to give the option that suits them best.
Yeah.
Instead of just forcing someone onto something that might not be best suited for them.
Yeah.
It's good to have that option.
Well, it's better from a sales perspective as well, isn't it? Because if they come in and your options are, do you want to pay me X amount of money to do your TikTok or not? Then you're giving them one option which is good for you and one option which is bad for you. Yeah. Whereas if you come in and go, do you want us to pay you to do your TikTok? It's going to be X amount. Or do you want us to pay you to help you with your TikTok and you do the work? It's going to be less. Then their two options are both good for you. So it's like, even though it's giving them a good option as well. And also like, you never know, you could be, they might go for option 2 initially and then build up and build up and build up and build up and then go, okay, I don't have any time to be doing this anymore, we're absolutely flying, and they could hand it over to your agency. Likewise, you could do the one product and then drop them down to the other one after doing it for 6 months, getting them to a certain level, and then they go, look, we want to just learn how to do it ourselves now, you've really helped us.
We have had one client who's already at that stage, isn't she? She messages her day, she's like, look, I've took on way too much here, like I think I'm going to need you to do it for us.
Do you know what? People think, oh yeah, just posting on TikTok, it's a good platform to go viral, you're doing easy work, but actually it's fucking hard. It's changing all the time. You constantly have to be on the ball, like constantly thinking of new strategies, new things to implement for clients. It's hard work. It's like very intense. We're posting 3 times a day for people. I mean, like people take it for granted. I'd rather them come in on the front, on their coaching, understand, shit, this is actually hard, and then they'll actually appreciate the.
Well, if they were an expert on TikTok, they'd be doing your job and not. Do you know what I mean? They would be doing what you guys are doing. Yeah. So it's like they'll be an expert in whatever they're an expert in, and then, you know, it's for them to let somebody else do that, unless they've got a big enough team where it makes more sense for them to have somebody trained up so that they're an expert. I think as well, having like a course that you can sell to the masses is another good way of being able to, you know, there might be some people who can't afford to have the coaching as well. So if you just had a course that you could sell to them that they just kind of crack on with, that's what we're developing at the moment, a course that we can just give to people that they just crack on with themselves. Just because then you've got something for everybody, because that could be a way of them kind of coming in and saying, okay, I don't have that much money to invest in it. I could pay for this one-off course, and then, you know, the better their business does, then I feel like you never really lose people if they...
It's all in the funnel, isn't it? It's building that person up to be in a position to work with you.
And you guys post 3 times a day for your...
Yeah, Monday to Friday,
Yeah.
Some clients have it every single day.
Yeah, so pay
extra for that.
But on what you were just saying there, so we've been doing this, so we've been doing like more digital products. So, for example, we launched a like viral in 60 days, almost like an ebook, but it was like a document with like actionable steps on like full-on video trainings. So we sold that for, I think it's like $27.
Right.
So we're launching them with ads, and we're doing like loads of different low-ticket funnels, and then we've got a group where it's like a subscription group.
Right.
So people pay a monthly fee to be in there. So we're maximizing.
What do you guys use for that?
It's just a Facebook group, and then we just take a payment through Stripe.
Oh, man, we've just started using School. I don't know if you've seen that.
I've got a School, I'm using that as like a free platform at the minute, so I'm just giving free access to that just to build a few members up, and then I'll eventually move it like a paid one. Yeah, but School's cool. I like School because it's got the lessons and.
Yeah, we've just started using that, so we're going to use that as like our paid group, just like I said, we've got so many students that come through, we want to like channel them into somewhere. And then they're like a good group to be able to like keep them all in one place and have a bit of a captive audience.
Yeah.
So do you guys create all of the content for them as well? Or is there an onus on them to create some content and send it over to you?
For clients?
Yeah.
At the minute, we do everything for them. So they
Yeah.
literally just have to be there on the content day. So what we'll do is we'll come down, see them. So we're traveling to like London quite a bit. So we'll come visit the client, spend a couple hours with them, shoot, and then we get like 2 months worth of content and we post it all for them.
Right.
But at the minute, there's a few things that are working quite well. Like one client's doing like car talks, just like that raw sort of footage. So we are implementing some stuff like that.
Right.
Where the client's a bit more involved with giving us content.
Yeah.
I've had clients in like LA and stuff like that though who are a little bit like obviously.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So like if they are in an area that like it's a bit too far for us to travel to, I mean they could pay for us to travel to LA, I mean I don't mind. But if
Just putting it out there.
When that conversation was happening, Aimee was so eager to get the client to pay for us.
I was
to
looking
go to
at
LA.
flights. I was like, all right, I'm going to LA. This is my time. No, but yeah. So like, if we have clients like that who are a little bit out of it, a little bit too far out, then we can do like a hybrid approach. We literally give them the content ideas and then they shoot it themselves with like direction. Obviously, like they need to have the right equipment and mics and things like that.
Yeah.
To be able to like keep it the quality we need it to be.
Yeah, because that's the important thing as well. Like the right mics, the right cameras, because loads of people post content. And this is one thing I actually hate, right? Is I've seen this all over. Like people are buying these little mics because they think it looks cool on the videos. But the audio is actually worse than your iPhone audio.
I've seen those little clip-on. I mean, we've got we use the Rode mic.
The Rode mics and the DJIs are good.
Yeah.
The DJI mics, we love
I've seen ones with like 30 quid or something. They're like selling them on TikTok and they're like...
I think you can get Amazon ones, so I think that's what people are buying.
Yeah.
And you post and you're doing videos and it's like so muffled, it's struggling to hear what you're actually saying. Just do it with your iPhone because it's
the actual mic's better.
The
Or
mic's
get
better.
the proper mics. It's like an investment.
Or invest.
Really.
It's only 300 quid to get better quality audio.
Yeah, which is everything really, isn't it? Because if the audio's crap. So how many clients? So that sounds like obviously you guys have got a team, but that sounds like a lot of work going and like doing all of their content for them. Like how many clients can you guys take on at that rate? Or are you getting to like near the limit now, which is why you're...
Nah, we could take on a lot more clients than what we've got right now. Definitely. Yeah. I spent a lot of time working on the operations in the background of the business. So making sure I had a process in place where we can do it really easily. Yeah. And we can just keep bringing people on.
Everybody has like their own sort of role, isn't it? Like I go and see the client, I like actually shoot the client, but you do like most of the ideas and things like that, and then we've obviously got the team who like edit and post, so that's just all they're doing, just editing and posting.
It sounds like a lot of work, but like we blast out all the content in 3 hours and we've got a process of prepping all the content. So if I was to do your content, we could look at like fitness pages and we'll just go on TikTok, find viral videos, giving away the sauce. I
think the implementation's everything though. Like I speak to people all the time. I speak to a lot of fitness professionals and they're like, oh, I don't want to give away too much. And it's like, ideas are easy, like they're readily available.
Yeah.
Like implementation is expensive. Like you could literally look into that camera and tell people step by step what got you to like that. But they won't do it.
Yeah,
they literally will not do it because the ideas are, ideas are cheap, but implementation's expensive. Like it takes time, effort, hard work, perseverance. And the first second people lose interest, they just bail out. Honestly, like I've spoken to so many fitness professionals. Are like, oh, I'm trying to keep my content. I'm trying to keep like my best stuff away, off of social media. I'm like, why? What do you think people are gonna like learn everything that you know and do it themselves? Like that's never ever gonna be the case. Like you could learn how to do anything and do it for yourself, but you never go and do. Like I could learn how to do plastering and I could plaster my own house, but I'm never going to, am I? So like it's interesting. Like I knew you were about like actually tell people what you do there, but it's like it's so interesting that people not do it even though you're telling them how to do it.
Yeah. And if I watch someone's content, So I watch a few gym guys, and I literally do their workouts in the gym.
Yeah.
And that makes me want to buy into their programs. And that's how it works. So if you can, give away as much as you can.
Yeah, accountability is a big one as well, isn't it? And then getting in that network, like that's why we've been kind of launching our network, and we're really putting a big emphasis on that, because the more people you can get into that network, and like they'll benefit from being part of the network, but you'll benefit from having loads of people, and that's probably what you're experiencing with like getting more and more clients in. Like you'll probably have connections now for the clients that you've got, which are valuable for them. Like there's a reason people go with like big law firms, because they cost way more money, they cost a premium, because they'll have connections. Like, you know, those people will be connected to the best investment bankers.
Yeah.
So they'll make one call, oh, my client such and such is looking for capital. Okay, Mr. Whatever, like we know you very well, our relationship's good, you're trusted, they must be trusted, we'll set up a meeting. And then just like that, you sat in front of, you know, a hedge fund who's going to invest in your company. Yeah, and 100%. Just because you've spent a premium on the lawyer that you go with, it's like, and you know, you guys having clients, and then you put an event on for your clients where all your clients get together, and it's like, oh, you use these guys as well. Well, that means that we're in some way aligned. We're doing this. Do you want to jump on this together? It's like,
yeah, 100%.
It helps.
100%.
Definitely.
So, well, I was saying the secret sauce.
This is it. Well, we'll zoom in right now. This is when it will like go in like on the thing.
It's the secret sauce if you actually implement it. So the best way to research and prep like 100 to 200 content ideas, you do this for your clients if you run an agency, or do it for yourself, is find pages in the similar niche, find the viral videos. The TikTok, if you search it on the desktop, they'll bring the top videos at the top of the search. Go through and check the comments. So the comments there'll be loads of people asking questions, and create content revolving around them questions, because these are most common things people are wondering about your service, about, you know, gym techniques, I was doing one for a dentist, and there was a laser hair removal client, and there was so many questions about the treatment. Does it hurt? All this sort of stuff. And we just racked up loads of questions about what just the general public were wanting to hear. And then that content goes viral because everyone's interested in that subject. They want to find out the answer, and then it just goes viral because people are watching it.
And then do they just sit and answer the questions on a video?
Yeah.
Essentially.
Almost like this setting, podcast style.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so interesting, isn't it, that like, it seems so straightforward. I mean, we've been trying to, you know, with what we do, it's kind of like, I find it easy to sit and talk to someone for an hour. I find it boring to sit and answer questions like in front of my phone. So I just try and do as many long form content as possible, and then kind of break it down. With Fit4X TV, which is like the one that we do a kind of similar sort of thing to this, but it's with fitness. We bring people in from the fitness industry, and we've got a few more questions and stuff like that, but we're starting to like read out people's embarrassing gym stories, because like we know that people are asked about that, and like, so we've got like a bunch of embarrassing gym stories that we're going to be reading out, because it was just, I feel like, do you feel like as well a strategy that you can stick to is the best strategy? So like, I know that I can stick to this long form content strategy because, you know, like I really enjoy getting people like yourselves in to speak to you guys about what you've been able to do, and I find it really interesting myself, so I hope that other people find it interesting as well. But do you feel like there's something about finding content that you enjoy doing, because you see so many people like forcing it a little bit as well, or do you think you just have to just grit your teeth and do what works?
Yeah, I think that's where people go wrong. So like a lot of clients come to us and they try and force content themselves. Like I've got quite a few friends who are really, really good at creating content, but they just try and force it, like you say, and then they just put it off because they're like, I'm not going to make time to do that. Whereas like if we like come up with it, we have like a fun day. It's fun essentially, isn't it? And like it's all done for them. So like they're there on the day, it's done for them. They forget about it after that day. So I think it's like a no-brainer for them.
It's almost like this setting where we're just having a conversation and then taking them clips. So not as forced as in like answer this question. It's just asking questions in this chilled environment where they feel more comfortable to do that.
As well, I think people don't think, like, because, like, we're, like, an outsider, we think about topics that they would never think about discussing, like, things that are, like, sort of, like, real beginner stuff that they think, oh, well, everyone's going to already know that, and you think, let's not talk about it, but the main type of questions that you get on TikTok are those, like, beginner-type questions that people...
I find that, I find it so hard to think of content topics for myself. But I find it so easy to think of them for clients.
Because you overcomplicate it, don't you? You overcomplicate thinking people already know that. If I talk about that, they'll think like that it's...
I need a guy like me for me.
Yeah, someone who doesn't really know your industry that well. So like asks questions that you are just so basic to you. Yeah, you do find that as well. Like the people, this is what I find. The people who do best have 1, 2, 3 max talking points that they reiterate constantly. Like the thing I see with fitness professionals when they first start out, they'll take like 30 subject topics and they'll do videos on all of them. And it's like, well, your audience isn't getting used to anything you say. Like one of the biggest growing accounts at the moment is that Eddie Abu, the Ghanaian guy. Mm-hmm. He has one message, like 2 max, like stop eating shit. And he just reiterates it. And obviously he's got like quite a good team behind him. And there's, have you seen him on
Yeah.
And it's just, but it's not like every day. Gary V, one message pretty much. Like
that's another thing with TikTok. It's repetitive. So like when you find something that works for you, you just repeat it until it stops working.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we do with quite a lot of our clients. Like if they get one video that hits like 1 million views, we'll like basically copy it but slightly change it and just redo it. Like, it is like that.
Yeah. What do you find about what if like account? So I like our FitProX in TikTok that like consistently gets like 7 to 1,000 views per video, but doesn't ever seem to break that. I used to like, does some people's TikToks like, if they don't get used for a while, do they kind of die? Is that a thing? Because my TikToks used to get like quite a lot of views, and now, I mean, I know I just post the same stuff, but like now they don't. They only
Did you
get
go
like,
through like a patch of not posting?
Yes.
But
I think it does reward people that do consistently post.
It does, but we've had loads of client accounts that have, say, like, not posted for, like, 6 months. Say they've got, like, 200 followers. And then we'll start it up from, like, the point that we start from and start with the consistency. And it builds up. So that if you just are consistent with it and you follow, like, a proper strategy and you've got, like, new content that's original, then it will build up eventually. It's, like, I think if your content is good... It will eventually get rewarded.
Yeah.
There's so many people that say like, oh, is my account shadow banned? It's like, oh, you're not shadow banned. You've got like 300 followers, but
yeah, why would they shadow ban you?
Yeah, you're not shadow banned. It's just your content's not good enough.
Yeah.
And you just need to keep working on your content.
Yeah.
It could be a number of things as well. Like it might not be that the topic, it might not be the topic. It might be that like you've got like a 3-second pause at the start before you speak, or like there's like not a hook, or there's not a good sound. It could be anything, and that is why your video is not working.
Analyze it, like every aspect of the video to understand why.
Yeah.
And just, you could even recreate the same video, but just change one thing within it. And it could hit. We've done this with a client actually. We posted a video. It was like a public interview, which normally they hit. Like normally they get good views. We posted it. It was a great video, and it got like a couple of thousand views. And then we posted like a month later, and it was just, we changed the start of it, and it's hit like 150k views.
See, do you know what I don't understand? And I don't know if this... See, I thought it was about like ratios of how many people were like interested in it like straight away, because I've looked at videos on like our TikTok, the FitProX TikTok, and they'll have like 800, 900 views, and they'll have like 30, 40 likes, and then I'll post a video which will get like 250 views, but it'll have like 80 likes. And I'm like, well, a third of the people who watch it are liking it, so show more people.
You know what I think?
She gets on about this.
I get like this all the time, because like I've just, for example, made like a family account for my little boy the other day, and like he's getting loads of likes but no views. But that's because it's not getting much engagement. People are seeing a cute little boy liking it and scrolling, and they're not watching the whole video. That's probably why. Like the first engagement matters a lot, because the first 50% of the video, if you can get them to watch that and more, then you get more views.
So these people are just being nice to me.
They're just like
showing me
they just like you. That's why.
And then they're just fucking me off.
I personally don't like many videos on TikTok. Like, I don't think it matters.
Likes
I
don't
don't.
matter.
Yeah, I don't like videos.
No,
I
likes don't
watch
matter,
a video.
views do.
I can watch a video and think it's great, and I'll not like it.
Yeah, I do that as well. I can watch a video like a couple of times.
That's mean.
And then, I never think.
It's not. It's just not a feature that I use on TikTok.
Yeah.
The like
and
button.
you know what it is? I don't share TikToks.
I
share
have a post.
Instagram reels. Like, see, my friends are still on Instagram, so like I do share a fair few. Do you know, just like
Not your reels.
funny
You'll put them on your
memes.
story.
No. Like I share other people's content. I share like funny memes essentially.
So
But
we do that with each other because we're both on TikTok.
Yeah.
So
See, I don't.
it's easy.
See, I don't send people TikTok. See, I don't know if that many people send people TikToks.
Oh, see,
Yeah,
sending
I
on
do.
sending
Yeah, I
on
do.
TikTok is massive.
Is that massive? Is it?
Yeah, and that's one of the things you've got to think of. I say to my clients all the time, I'm like, if your content is sendable, it'll go viral. Because like I know, like if it's, and that's why like going viral and being broad is so important with TikTok as well. Because if you can go viral and say somebody's mum sees the post and goes, oh, she does that course, you should go and you should do it with them, and she'll send it on, and like they do send 100%. Like,
yeah. No, I need to start sending more TikToks, to be fair, and helping people out. I find that, like, you know, when I first got into business, it was all about, like, oh, it's not who you know, it's what you know. No, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Sorry, I'll just edit that. So when I first got into business, it's not what you know, it's who you know. I feel like it's now who knows you. It doesn't even matter who you know. It just matters that people know who you are.
Yeah.
Like, if people know who you are, that's it. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's all about how many people know you and know what you do. So do you think that just kind of feeds into that? Get as many followers on TikTok and then just start moving them wherever you need them to be. Just, you know, you go viral on TikTok, you get as many people as possible. And then, you know, if 1% of 500,000 people are interested in becoming a beautician, perfect. Let's channel them. Is that just it? Just get as many likes on TikTok as possible.
Yeah.
And just get
And
out
do you know
there.
what's crazy as well? Like TikTok at the minute is just like, if you're going viral on TikTok, and this is like the big creators I'm talking about, they're like classed as celebrities now. They're getting stopped in the street for pictures. Like it's mental what TikTok can actually do if you become that big.
And
Like that Eddie dude you're just talking about, he's just started posting videos in supermarkets, and now he's like, he was on the radio yesterday when I was in the car.
He was in Boris Johnson's column of his like newspaper column.
Like you do well on TikTok, you're essentially
big.
becoming the modern day celebrity.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like, it's not biased at all. Like anybody at all can be big from TikTok. Anybody. It's not like Instagram where you've got to be like either like pretty good looking, you've got to have like pristine aesthetic content. TikTok, anybody can go like viral and become somebody big.
Yeah. No, I definitely think it's
Like, is he not just a random dude?
who?
Eddie.
Yeah, kind of.
He's just came
Pretty
from
much.
nothing, and he's just came from just nowhere, and now he's one of like the most spoke about guys.
Yeah, he's like he's not massively unique. He's just got a good message that he just reiterates, and probably because it's polarizing. Like that's another thing. Do you find like it's difficult for businesses, isn't it? Because you don't want to be. The reason I always told businesses to avoid Twitter when like I was speaking to clients and stuff back in the day is because it's a platform that you need to be polarizing on to grow. Like if you just have middle of the road opinions, Twitter's not the place for you because nobody's asked about middle of the road. They want you to either be saying something horrendous or saying something that's like really polarizing and it's really going to like divide people. Do you feel like TikTok you need, you know,
100%.
It's the same.
Yeah.
100%.
The only time I get like lots of comments and views and that like on my TikToks now is when people disagree with what I'm saying.
Yeah. So back to that Eddie, he's a twat.
Yeah.
He goes on like a twat.
Yeah.
Tate became one of the most famous people in the world.
Yeah.
From being a twat.
Yeah.
But a lot of our clients as well, so they actually, obviously they sell courses and things like that and they're professional, but they have people who disagree with what they do. So, for example, like the lemon bottle fat dissolving thing that was going around, people were commenting saying you shouldn't be promoting that. It's a fat dissolving injection. Like that was getting viral videos, but it was getting bookings and it was getting course sales. That's all that matters.
fillers,
You've got to have comments. Like,
So you think? I was driving with Joe, who runs Fit Pro X with me, and we were driving and like talking about stuff. And I was like, mate, why don't we talk like this on Fit for X TV? We got on Fit for X TV, and it's like I've had media training, and I'm like,
Yeah.
but when we're in the gym, we're talking to people and they're laughing and stuff, we're talking shit, basically. And I'm like, we need to be saying this on the podcast, because this is what people, yeah, it's polarizing, and we're saying some shit that we probably shouldn't say. And we're saying stuff about like different things in the industry that we feel strongly about. Do you think we should just go for it and just start saying it?
Because if that's what you believe, that's your opinion. Everybody else has a different opinion. And
so when I get cancelled, I'm going to come to you guys, essentially, and I'm going to...
You know what, though? People get cancelled before they get big. We were talking about this the other day in the car, weren't we? Like, people get cancelled and then they turn massive. Like that girl, for example. I mean, I'm not supporting her at all. Like, I really disagree with that. I really do. I do not like her. But Brittany on TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
So she's like said something about somebody who's, I don't know.
It was in our past, and someone brought something up from our past where she done like a GoFundMe for some cancer treatment, but then she turned out she didn't have it. But she's not, and she's seen it.
Yeah, so she's obviously done something terrible.
Yeah.
But
really, really terrible.
She had she just hit 1 million followers on TikTok, and then everyone's commenting on our videos, like, talk about this. Why are you not addressing it? She didn't address it. And now we looked a couple of weeks ago and she's hit 2 million followers.
Mm-hmm.
All publicity is good publicity.
People, I think that, you know, I do think that, and people soon forget what the bad thing was.
Yeah, and I think as well, like, the more polarizing you are, like, for every single person that hates Tate, there's someone who loves them equally as much.
100%.
And, like, you purchase out of love. You don't necessarily... Just because you like somebody, like, you have to love what somebody's doing to really throw your money at it. And I feel like if you're kind of the way you are doesn't generate those extreme emotions in people, then people aren't gonna kind of go for it. Like, it's very hard to be very like middle of the road and very like palatable, because people are just going to be like,
it's
cool.
Boring,
but you don't have to say anything like super controversial either. Like, obviously, for
I
example, well, depends what it is. Like, but like, I feel like for our clients, obviously, it's not really that deep. Like, they were selling a fat dissolving injection and people disagree with that, but they were still getting viral. They were going viral and getting loads of comments on that because people disagree with it. But the good thing is that that's not going to stop them getting sales. They were never going to be a client anyways. Yeah. Because they don't agree with that. So you just have to think, like, there will be people who agree with what you say. Yeah. And there's always going to be people who disagree with what you say. Yeah.
Nobody's ever going to like you, but the more hate you get, the more engagement you get, the more views you get, the more money you get.
And the more people who do like it find it.
Mm-hmm.
That Eddie, he had a lot of hate, a lot of people, fitness people saying like it's bad what he's doing. What I seen was bad press about him. But we seen on the school leaderboard, he was in the top like 10 or something. Yeah. And he was doing 40k a month just from school. Yeah. So, you know, it shows that even though people hate, it's an opportunity to make money.
Would you, if you're making 40 grand a month from that, you would just be like, oh, do you not like the light eggs, do you not?
Well, it's proof that people do like him though, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So there's people who like it and there's people who don't.
Hate equals money, to be honest. So the more hate you can get, the more you'll earn.
Yeah. So just listen, if you're watching this, you can be the next Andrew Tate. Just
but
take all of the...
one of the most hated men in the world, was doing like 4 million a month.
Yeah.
It also depends on what you do as well, though, because I feel like some things just don't have like topics that get hate. Like for me, for example, I've got loads of people commenting on mine at the minute saying I'm a scammer and stuff like that because I tell people how much money I can make from in marketing. People hate that.
They say you must do OnlyFans.
Everyone says I do OnlyFans. That's what I'm getting at the minute. Yeah. But I'm like using that to reply to the comments, and like I use that for my content because I know that they're going to come back and get angry at my content.
It is difficult though, isn't it? Because like you do see a lot of stuff about people making like where they'll, I don't know, everywhere I look, it's like, yeah, you should be making 6 figures a month doing like this and that and the other. And I wonder like, how much of that do you think's legit?
Depends who it is.
I think you can see through the bullshit most of the time.
Yeah.
I think you can tell if someone...
you make 6 figures a month, telling people that you make 6 figures a month, which then technically isn't a lie, but it's just like not exactly the truth. Because if you say, look, I'll teach you how to do this, but like, okay, step 1, set up a course where you tell people you're teaching them how to do it. Do you know what I mean? It's like...
I think you can see when people are genuine in making money from something and then they're teaching on that topic.
Yeah.
Because most businesses, and I'm sure you probably find this as well, like there's a ceiling, like without getting like mega stressed and all that. Like the agency, you know, that does about 20K, and it's like, that's about like, it gets a bit stressful. If you were to scale that to 100K a month, it would be like mega.
Yeah.
And I think it's at that point, people then transition into the coaching element where it's a lot less stress, and you know, you can essentially just double that revenue that you've worked all them years for. You double your revenue in like within a couple of months.
Yeah, like you see them do that, and like I know how much infrastructure is required to even make, you know, even have like be doing like 50, 60, 70, 80 grand a month. Like the infrastructure that's required, you know, you need to start bringing in like HR consultants. There's so much, you know, infrastructure required. And then I see people and they're like, oh, you can make 50 grand yourself on a laptop. And I'm thinking,
yeah,
depends what they do,
I think
you know.
yeah.
It's the claim, because I seen something today and I was like, I'll help you make 50K a month in the next 90 days. And I'm like, it's just cap. It's cap. Like, you know, 50K a month is a lot of money.
Yeah.
And people are playing it down at like in right now, this period of time, like people are making that sound like a baseline.
Have you seen this guy on social media? And he's kind of ratty looking.
Is he Ollie Harrison?
No, it's not. No, I like him. No, he's kind of like ratty looking. And he's like, okay, step one. And he just gives these like wild, and I think he's being deadly serious. If it's satirical, it's extremely funny, but I don't think there's any
Is it
satire.
unethical ways to make money?
No, but that is funny. That is funny where he's like you got to scam like pregnant women. I do find some of his funny. No, this one's like, he's kind of like, he's got like really pronounced cheekbones, but he's like kind of ratty looking. You'll have probably seen him. If I'll find him and I'll put his picture on the screen. But he like, I mean, I won't because I don't edit it, but someone will. And he'll just be like, okay, so step one, make $1 million. Like, it's so easy to make $1 million right now. So, okay, so step one is to make $1 million. Okay, so let's forget all the steps before step one, but just make $1 million. Okay, it's fucking easy. And then he'll be like, now you and 300 friends. 300 friends. I've got 4 friends, and like 2 of them aren't even taking my calls at the moment. So like 400, you and 300 friends pool that $1 million together. Now you've got $300 million net worth as this group. And then it's like, now you invest that over 10 years and you'll have like $3 billion, but it'll actually be like 50. Now you've got a $30 billion net worth. Like, it's so simple. And it's like, mate, what the fuck are you saying?
I think I did see that video, actually.
What the fuck are you talking about? First of all, let's forget the fact that it's hard to make $1 million. What's that, like 800 grand? Let's forget the fact that like most people will make 800 grand in like 20 years. We'll park that, and we'll just go straight to the fact where we can all make $1 million selling pictures of our toes or whatever. Now I have to find 300 other people or 299 other people who are also doing that, and we pool our money together. Like, what are you on about? Do you not see those things and you just think, like, who's buying this? Like, who's going for this and being like, oh my God, bro, like, fucking hell, thank you so much. Like, where do I sign up?
Yeah, it's bold claims.
I don't really see stuff like that, to be fair. Like, honestly, the stuff that I see, most people, I see a lot of girls' content, and...
What would an example be? What would an example be of, like, your content? And we'll break it down. Because I feel like I've seen some of it, and I don't feel like it's outlandish, but I feel like a lot of people who are making, like, a couple of grand a month in a job don't realise that, like, you know, you could probably make, like, 3 or 4 times that if you... But it's hard and it's not guaranteed. So what would your, like, what would an average claim be?
What my coach does, so she makes about 100 grand a month.
Yeah.
But she teaches people how to make 5K a month.
Okay.
In what she first started out doing. Mm-hmm. But she's only making about 15K a month off that said thing. Do you know what I mean? But the rest of her money that she's making is off the coaching side of it. So she helps people do that essentially first, and then she'll help people from, once they hit the 5K a month, she helps them go from 5K to 20K a month, and then she helps them go from like 20K plus to like what she does. So like her message is, she doesn't really say that she's making 100K a month. It's more, I'll help you make 5K a month. And I think that's genuine. Like, that's like in social media marketing, that's easy.
Yeah, so it's like, make 5 grand a month, but then she's making, because that's what I always see, right? This is the big argument. It'll be like, well, if you can teach someone to make 50 grand a month, why don't you just make 50 grand a month and employ 20 people on 2 grand a month to also make 50 grand a month? Like, why
I think that's
I
unethical,
think
to be honest.
that's
When you're
just-
selling young people the dream of making 50k a month, I just don't think it's achievable. Some people might do it, but
Yeah.
imagine the amount of like clients you've got for 50k a month.
Yeah.
You've got to have staff to do that. You can't just be running that out your bedroom. Like,
So yeah, so she makes the majority of her money teaching people to get to £5,000 a month. See, I don't have an issue with that at all. And then obviously people have an issue where it's like, okay, well, you're making £100,000 a month. It becomes then a bit of a pyramid scheme where it's like, so first of all, you make them. So it's like us with personal training. Like, I started as a personal trainer, then I taught other people to become personal trainers. I made more money teaching people to become personal trainers than I did from being a personal trainer. So I transitioned out of being a personal trainer. Now I teach people how to set up their own personal training academies. So it's just like you keep moving up one.
Yeah.
But I can't be telling personal trainers, okay, this is how you make 80k a month, because this isn't what I'm teaching you to do. Is how you become a personal trainer and make £4,000 a month.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
So yeah, but if I did go down that route,
but then it's good for your marketing as well.
yeah,
So the way I did it, I wasn't telling people I could make them 20k a month. I just literally said in one of my videos once that I've made £20,000 in a month doing social media marketing. Oh no, I didn't even do that, sorry. I said some of my clients are making 20k a month. And people were commenting saying, how are you doing this? How are you doing that? And I was like, they're selling their services on TikTok and making money from that. So I help my clients make 20k a month by selling their service on TikTok.
Yeah.
But they're
I think
coming
that's
to me
fine.
and saying I'm scamming.
yeah.
She gets a lot of hate from like men on
Yeah.
TikTok that are obviously
yeah, that's
not making enough money. They're jealous and they don't like to see women
their
doing
wife's cheating
better.
on them.
But people
don't
don't
Their wife's cheating on
understand.
with their neighbour, and they get home every day. They know it. They know it.
They're
but
miserable.
They can't leave. They're tied up in the mortgage. They're tied up in the mortgage, and they can't leave. That's it. You see them all the time.
They're not earning enough.
Yeah.
They finish work on a Friday, go to the pub.
They see you, and they're just like,
Yeah.
she's doing OnlyFans. Fuck. Yeah, no, honestly, like, but then I sometimes I'm like, am I like a hater when I see these kids who are like, yeah, you should be making like 50 grand a month, nothing, you should be making like 50 grand a month, like 50 grand a day. I don't know. But I think that's very cheap. I think the £5,000, I feel better speaking to you when you were saying about the £5,000 a month thing, because I think that's a money that would like change people's lives, like genuinely. Like, you know, in the Northeast, most people are making like £2,000 a month. If you could teach them how to be making like £5,000 a month, I think that's genuinely like a life-changing amount of money, which would give them the freedom and flexibility and options to do so much more. And I think sometimes you just get bogged down where you're a bit worried about even saying like, oh, I'll help you make, you know, get to £5,000 a month, because you'll get people on there being like, £5,000 a month, like I made £5,000 a day trading. And it's just like, sometimes you've got to kind of stay in your own lane and just be like, no, actually that's really valuable and really useful. And like, you've helped people make 20 grand in a month. That's like amazing. And like, it's sad that there should even be a thought in your head where you might not post it because you might be worried about what kind of people think. Obviously you're not, because you do post it, which is great. But yeah, I feel like
People are so small-minded, man. It's like...
I just think, I know that people are going to comment and say something about it, so I don't really care. Like, I'll post it and let people argue with it, because I've got the proof. Like, I'm helping my clients do that. And they'll all say it, so if they don't understand it, then that's fine.
And then getting hate, good, because it's all interaction.
Money. So how easy do you think it would be to make 5K a month?
How easy do I think it would be? I think with the correct it depends what industry you're in, but with the correct strategy, I mean, I would comfortably say that, you know, we've helped a lot of like personal trainers and stuff like that. I think within 4 to 6 months of being extremely consistent as a personal trainer, you could quite comfortably be looking at like $5,000. But I think that my whole ethos is product ecosystems. I don't care what level you're at. I don't care if you're Apple, who's the most famous product ecosystem company. Everyone thinks of Apple, they think about hardware. Apple doesn't make that much money off hardware anymore. All of its money comes off software, because hardware costs money to create. You know, phones, laptops, tablets, computers, they have raw elements. They have everything that comes with them. I always think about creating a core offering like the iPhone, and then having product ecosystems which supplement it, like apps. Apps don't cost iPhone anything. They make 30% of every app sale. So if you buy an app for like 40 quid, some like camera apps are like 40 quid. Apple makes £13 of that for nothing.
For passive income.
Absolutely nothing. But they sell millions of apps every day. So I think if you have one core offering, one product, it might be one-to-one personal training. And if they can, you know, charge £30 an hour and build that up to 20 hours per week, which is, quite conceivable that they could do 20 hours of personal training per week. It's probably 6-7 clients max. Then they'll be making £600 per week doing that, 2,400. So you're halfway there. You're halfway there off your first 20 hours. You could then go for go and try to double that. But that's when I would be telling people, look at your product ecosystems. What else can you do to be making money? Can you get to that other 2.5 grand without having to work twice as much? And that's where I'd get them doing online coaching, selling plans, looking at done with you, like kind of looking at done by yourself services. Do you have a network now of people? Could you be making content for other people and selling their products? Is there a protein company that you can sell £3,000 worth of their stuff per month and be making, a 20% commission on that? There's an extra 600 for probably working an extra 3 hours per month. So I think that, in an industry like a service industry, as long as you've got a decent product ecosystem, it makes sense, you understand it. With personal trainers, our whole model at the moment is we get them to be mentors for our PT course. So your average, your personal trainer can make an extra kind of £1,000 to £3,000 per month by building their own academy of personal trainers. So yeah, I'd say with a strategy and understanding product ecosystems, fairly straightforward. What about you? How hard do you think it is?
I think it's easy. I understand that not everyone wants to make money. Some people are just happy doing what they're currently doing. But I think if you want to make money, then you've got no excuse to not be making 5-10K a month. So if you just start getting views, you can get paid.
Yeah.
These fitness guys that are going viral instead of just a £20 plan, they're making hundreds of thousands off that.
Yeah.
There's no excuse, really. Everyone can be making money right now.
Interestingly
if you
enough,
want to be making it.
TikTok Live. I went on TikTok Live for 45 minutes, like the third time I've ever done it. I made like 40 quid.
Did you?
Yeah, £40.
I only made £3 on mine the other day.
40 British pounds in
You-
There was only like 10
45
people on
minutes.
though.
Yeah, you
And then
must be getting gifts.
I got, yeah, well, it was like one of those battle things, and then I got banned for a
you
week, and I
done
was like, fuck it. I got banned for saying a bad word. I didn't think that was bad, but
On the live
Yeah,
it is. So
you-
on your videos you can, but not on the live.
I just said dick. It wasn't even like a proper swear word. Like you could get away with that like before 7 o'clock on TV.
You have to be really careful with what you say on the lives and things, don't you? Like you can't say website and stuff like that. You have to
Really?
be, yeah.
No, you can't say banned.
You can't say banned.
You can't say the word banned.
Can you not?
You have to
I
say
didn't know
bananaed.
Bananas.
Yeah, they sent me like a list of things that I couldn't say because I was like, look, you need to educate me here. I can't just be like going blind. And you can't say kill.
Yeah, I've noticed that people on the videos, like if they did like, people are doing like crime talk videos, and they're like, if it's shoot, they'll do like 0 or something like that. Like,
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
the certain words do get triggered.
Saying that though, like we've got a guy who helps us edit some of our videos, so from our podcast, and we had a guy on who was a human war crime lawyer, so he like consults the UN, BBC on like war crimes, and he was like, we said something about like the Nazis or something, and the guy's like made the clip, but like he's put like loads of like Hitler and stuff with like loads of swastikas and stuff, and I didn't even watch the clip, to be fair, and TikTok just pulled it straight down. I got like a message from TikTok being like,
Yeah.
can I be posting like fucking,
You should have knew that.
can I be posting Nazi propaganda on YouTube? But it wasn't Nazi propaganda, but it was like Hitler giving it like
Yeah.
The
You need to review your content.
yeah, review content is very, very important. So yeah, I mean, I think it's really, really interesting what you guys are doing. I think it's always cool to see people who've done one thing, seen an opportunity, pivoted, seen another opportunity off the back of that opportunity, pivoted, and I think that's testimony to why people should just get started in something they're interested in. Because, if when you guys set out to become a marketing agency, you'd be thinking about pickle logistics at the start, and then if you'd be thinking about potentially booking flights to LA to teach people how to do TikTok, you wouldn't have been thinking that. So I think it's just about getting started. But what's next for you guys?
What a big focus on the coaching side. But like you say, things just come to you, and it's good to just jump on the opportunity while you can. Like the sweet business was just absolutely random, and sometimes the best businesses are the ones that happen by mistake. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't stress too much about forcing something. Like you say, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know the opportunities you're going to have.
Yeah.
Just take every day as you can and ride the wave.
Yeah.
And it's there. What do you think's next?
Yeah, just the coaching, like spending time building our own personal brands now, because we've spent time, you know, we put a lot into the sweet shop building that, so we grew that to 100k followers, and now it's time to like build our own, isn't it? It's like time to put time in our own content, build a personal brand, coaching clients, and yeah, like see where it goes from there, really.
And do you think that's important to have your own personal brand as well, when you're something that you can just always have? And
I think it's essential today. Massively essential. Everyone that does, all the big players that are doing well, they've got a big personal brand.
Is it more important than your business brand?
100%.
I think so,
People
yeah.
buy into people, not logos.
That's interesting, isn't it? Like 20 years ago, you wouldn't know who ran half of the FTSE 500 companies. Now, if I name, 10 of the biggest companies in the world, you could tell me that, well, Facebook, Amazon, Tesla.
Yeah, it's all brands, isn't it?
You can
personal brands.
You can say who they're, Virgin, who all their CEOs are, it comes to your mind straight away. Whereas if back in the day, you wouldn't have known who the individuals were who ran that company. It would be a faceless corporation.
I don't know how businesses used to run back in the day, like before social media. How did you get clients? How did you get sales?
There was no information, was there? So
like flyers and posters.
Yeah, just being
mental,
referrals probably. And there wasn't as much marketing. So there might have been a big billboard, and the company with the biggest marketing budget could afford to be on it. Yeah. And then that's it. If you didn't have that if you didn't have millions to spend on marketing, I mean, cigarette packets, that was a massive industry. People used to pay to advertise on cigarette packets. And that was, what's that? Is it Mad Men? The series where they I think it's in the 70s or something. And they're it's a marketing agency, but they would but you wouldn't have a chance to be like an agency like yourselves and come up. You'd be competing against absolute monsters guys who there's no way to break in. Whereas now, is it the easiest time ever to make money?
It is, but it's also overload of information for people. So it's hard to have a clear vision and path on what you want to do sometimes, because there's this guy saying you can make 10k per month through doing this. You've got this other guy saying that. So it's hard to, right now, I think it's definitely overloaded with information, which is good, but also has its bad side as well. I
think unless you've got friends around you as well that are doing big things, then it's easy to just get overwhelmed by the information and just stay with what you're doing. Because I know for me, for example, I've been able to do what I'm doing because of you and having you by my side. My friend's really good, she's into business and stuff like that, so I'm motivated that way. But if you don't have friends around you that are, and you're seeing all this information online, it's probably just too overwhelming to even think about what you want to do. Yeah,
it normalizes it, doesn't it? When you've got friends who are doing big things, and then it doesn't make it seem as unachievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important to correctly choose the people that you spend time with.
100%. And as you asked us before, what's our next steps? So we're actually going to Dubai next month,
right,
for a month to check it out. And I think that's kind of the next steps for us to expand network, because it's loads of entrepreneurs over there. Good environment, nice and sunny, good people to be around, more opportunities. So that's something we're looking into.
Is it April that you guys are going?
Yeah.
Right, okay. I think we're there in May, the start of May.
May, I think. We'll come back at the end of April, I think.
Just miss you.
But we've not been before. But we're going to check out setting the business up there.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've been hit with a few tax bills recently, and it's just
Yeah, I'm literally going to speak to a couple of friends out there about registering the business there, because it is just a joke here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's today it's quite a nice day. It's sunny, but
no, it's usually a cold shithole, isn't it? But
sometimes it can just be you're paying all this out in tax, your office, rent.
It's just miserable every day.
And corporation tax, VAT, PAYE.
Yeah.
Personal income tax, dividend tax.
It's a new letter every day from HMRC or the government, and then you're getting these fines here and there. It's just honestly, we've got a new fine every week.
Yeah, we're so bad for time tunnel and parking and stuff like that.
Yeah,
paying the pension and stuff like that. It's just so much to sort out. Nobody talks about that. It's setting up a business.
No,
and it just comes boom, hits you.
Yeah,
here's a 10 grand tax bill. Yeah, first one. There you go. Sort that out.
Yeah,
it's shit.
What do I get for that?
Yeah.
Tell me what I get for that money. I need something back for it. So you think about setting the business up in Dubai?
Yeah, 100%.
Would you guys base yourselves from there?
Yeah.
Yeah, my sister lives there, so I think like we've always wanted to sort of move away. Really, I think if we can set up the business there and it would work from there, then we would definitely base from there.
It's a big decision as well because we've got a little one, so we need to start like planning schools, things like that. So it is a big decision, but it just seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Son, you know, if you want to rent a Lamborghini for the day, you can.
Yeah.
For the weekend,
You buy one?
buy one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like Dubai, I feel like you could have a lifestyle where you could just live a normal life, not spend much, go for walks, get some sun, get some steps in, get a coffee. You don't need it. Doesn't seem like you might need a car to get around if you live like around the marina. And then you could just do that type of stuff, like rent a car for the weekend,
You'd have to
some
drive.
fun.
You'd have to drive.
Do you think my
Yeah.
sister
Yeah.
has a driver? She doesn't.
Well, you can have a drive, but you'd have to. It's not the sort of place you can like walk places.
Just walk,
because it's
yeah.
got like it's got a huge motorway that like cuts down the middle, like the E11. So it's like you can't really cross that motorway. It's like you've been to America before. No. You can't really drive. Like, it's very difficult to like walk places because obviously, and also you don't want to be caught out in the middle of the day. Like if it's like 40 degrees and you've got to walk.
Yeah.
Like. Yeah, but you can get like
a little one as well.
You can get like a cheap car and stuff like that. You don't have to. I feel like in a relationship, it's a good place to be if you want to like save money. I feel like my friends who waste a lot of their money there are single, so they're like out all the time. It's one of those places like London where you can easily increase your overheads to match the money that you're making, and you can just be back to square one. But if you just are sensible and just put money away, you can like easily live below your means. But anyway, before we start, like before this turns into like an ad for moving to Dubai. Honestly, thank you so much for coming in. I'm gonna keep a keen eye on what you guys are doing because I feel like there's a lot of similarities between. Obviously, our businesses are very different, but we're trying to do kind of similar things in our own industry. So I'll be keen to keep an eye on and keep in touch with you guys. But thank you so much for coming in and
been
obviously, wish you all the best. Cheers, guys.
Been good. Thank you.
Right, perfect. Cheers.
Thank you.